Great points, right? And I agree with you. The global financial system we have today is antiquated, right? It's SWIFT correspondent banking. That's how you move value cross-border. That's built in the 70s. Its days are numbered. It has to be replaced. So that was one of the things when Bitcoin came along was, okay, is that the thing? And again, is that the internet of value? And I think a couple of things, Bitcoin has its own idiosyncrasies that make that sort of difficult. One was, I think, the early boosters of it were true libertarians who believed you could go around the existing financial infrastructure. I think that was a mistake because it's the incumbents already have billions of people. It's too expensive. There's lack of access. There's too many errors. It's too slow. Yet, a lot of what they built works really fine. They just got to fix a couple of things. So it would have been better if Bitcoin early people, I think, would have worked within the system. Bitcoin also has some other issues. It's a probabilistic settlement, right? Because miners can undo things theoretically, and it uses a lot of energy. But
next several years, and or more than what you think, what do you think needs to happen?
Well, I think we need to work within the system, clearly. We do need to work with governments. Again, a big mistake early on was, we're just going to go around central banks. I mean, just nonsense, right? So we've got to get the central banks involved. Frankly, they are, though. I mean, there's an incredible amount of engagement going on, whether it's in the UK or in Japan, Singapore, the Fed here in the US, certainly, Brazil. I mean, all around the world. India now is loosening up. You've seen major changes there. So it is happening, but those things take time, right? And technology works on kind of one quick cycle that's very different from how governments and regulation work. So they're kind of a natural mismatch, but we've got to get those three things, tech, capital markets, and regulatory authorities working together. That's difficult, harder than the internet, in fact. So I think a lot of it is staying with it, working within the incumbents, but not keeping our eyes off the prize of access to all. One of the cool things that's happening with these new networks that involve blockchain, it's allowing digital wallets for the first time to really get on board. And they have a really hard time getting involved with SWIFT and correspondent banking, which blocks, you look at something like Bcash in Bangladesh, 35 million users growing incredibly fast. These are individuals that don't have bank accounts. So those wallets are the bank accounts, right? And I think in the US, we need to look at it a similar way. Millions and millions of people. There's a hearing just on the June 11th about this, who don't have access to bank accounts. Could a central bank digital dollar help that? I think it's possible it could. Obviously, China now has moved very strongly into building out a central bank digital currency, a renminbi, as well as controlling mining and basically having almost all their payments digital. Domestically, frankly, and we can talk about it as well, we're way behind China when it comes to blockchain technology. So
gambling culture has infected the too big to fail banks on Wall Street, the biggest of the big. And let's keep in mind there are about 7,000 banks in the United States. The VOCA rule and the ban on proprietary trading is really going to effectively impact less than a dozen of them, the biggest of the big. What they were doing was making reckless trading and investment decisions that created big revenue and big bonuses. That has nothing to do with providing loans, market making, and hedging for the businesses of the country and to grow the economy. And mixing those two is a favorite ploy of Wall Street, but it's not really implicated here. The high-risk activity is not related to the economically useful activity. Well, the financial crash in 2008 was the worst crash since 1929. It almost caused a second Great Depression, and it did cause the worst economy since the Great Depression. It's going to ultimately cost this country, according to a study by Better Markets, almost $13 trillion. That's what's at stake in financial reform, and that's what's at stake in the financial reform rules. And the VOCA rule, which is meant to reduce the bank's high-risk gambling as opposed to the services they provide to the real economy, preventing that high-risk gambling is key to preventing another crash, crisis, and bailouts.
All right, so
welcome to the Crypto Teacher, and guys, please like and subscribe. If you do like what you're listening to, please inform your friends and family and also spread it on social media. It is imperative that we get back to learning finances and understand how the world really works. Because once we understand how the world really works, we understand that everything is planned out. Now, of course, guys, we're going to get into Bitcoin first and the market. Of course, right now we're still steady. Remember, stay focused on the stable coins, XRP, and then also volume. We do have CME, BitMEX, all that going on tomorrow, but it looks like they're dumping before. Just like I said, the target is 11,000. That's my target, guys. Now, basically getting into the Chris Larson video, and then also the new ease on the Volcker rule. Now, guys, basically what I'm about is piecing the puzzles together. Now, of course, we have China versus the U.S. That's what the media is bringing to the masses. And remember, I've already done this on at least 50 videos about China versus the U.S. This was already planned. And it's about China getting ahead of the U.S. when it comes to technology. If you watch this channel, I'll clearly show you how we gave all that technology to China. China was not beating us. We gave them all of our technology. That's what, Reagan gave all the technology. Clinton gave all the technology. That's what Chinagate was about. So, guys, we gave all this to them. So do not let the media or Ripple confuse you. Now, the fact is that basically Ripple, of course, has their office in D.C. So the fact is they're pushing the same message as what the government is pushing. So the fact is that basically you had Jeffrey Berman just got booted, and they wanted Jay Clayton in. Why? A lot of, I see a lot of XRP and Ripple videos saying that Jay Clayton wasn't doing his job. He's against crypto. No, he's for blockchain and crypto. That's why they want him in that position. Because the fact is that Jeffrey Berman was suing all the fake crypto exchanges, and he was going by the rules. And of course, how did the Federal Reserve get into place while Congress was out on vacation? So the rules that they want to put in place. They put Brian Brooks in place because they want to do things that are against the law. And of course, Jeffrey Berman is not going to allow that. He's going to go by the law. So they had to get him out to get the good old boy in. So therefore, they can pass all the regulations that they need to pass, but also they have to make sure that the people are not benefiting from it. That's the whole point, guys. So you have to piece it together. They got him out to put their guy in, which is Jay Clayton. It's not the other way around. Now, just like I said, they've been selling the fact that the U.S. is behind China. Why, guys? Because that was all planned. We see that the executive order 13772 that Trump put in place, it already had fintech bank, but we haven't heard anything from Trump when it comes to fintech banks and blockchain. Nothing. He doesn't talk about any of this. This is the new technology. Why? Because they're saving it to the end. That's his last trick, guys. Last trick of his sleeve. I did a video on that also. Now, also get into other crypto news. Basically, of course, we have the C word boosting digital currencies. We know the C word was what? To get the repo market under control, and then also get rid of course, more, your rights, and also put in plan the rules that they want to put in place. Basically, we also had Circle, and we all know about Circle, supports now USDC, which of course stable coin on the Algorand blockchain. We see that these stable coins are nothing but what? The US, in place of the US dollar, and of course they'll eventually lump it all into one and make one coin. Now AMD blockchain project moved up their GPUs up to 20,000. So we know something as big is happening, guys. Benoit from the BIS Central Bank Digital Currency, talking about central currency. Of course, he was one of the first ones to say the currencies are not going anywhere. They're just going to go digital. So the US dollar, is not going anywhere. It's just going digital. So we clearly see this. We clearly see that they're just moving this whole system over to blockchain digital because what? They'll have total control and it's costing them nothing. So the fact is that you'll be putting your 80 hours worth of hard work, 40 hours worth of hard work a week, 2 weeks for digits. And then also, guys, with the Volcker rule having eased, now this allows the banks to do what? Go back gambling with your money. The whole point of the Volcker rule was to stop these banks from gambling your money and to take some of that risk on. That's all this is about. So the fact is that the banks, what it did was actually gave the banks some risk. So therefore you be risking your own company. Now what this does is ease, now they can start going back gambling, playing with your money. So they don't care whether they win or lose. Now also Google has come out saying that they're going to automatically delete the tracking as far as what the location, all that good stuff. But guys, basically it's 18, they're going to keep your information for 18 months. Now we know we're creatures of habit. They'll have all your information by the time 18 months happen. And then also we have the meat that says that impossible foods, that the meat industry will be gone in 15 years. We all know the plan. We all know who's behind that, Bill Gates. So guys, make sure we understand that. I put that in the Patreon, broke that down for you. But guys, that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the cryptos. If you're new to crypto, Bitcoin, Bitrue, Binance. Also your stocks, Cobalt, chip stocks, gaming. Never ever bet against the banks, as we can see. Also, basically everybody's sitting at home. Don't forget about those stocks. You also have the C word. They still selling. Don't forget about the biotech stocks. And then also, because everybody's sitting at home getting free money, what are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and y'all have a wonderful day.